Good morning. Many market players appear to be taking it easy as the year draws to a close. As a result, the trend for the remainder of December is likely to be largely lackluster. But there could be a minor year-end Santa Claus rally provided the overseas markets are supportive. For now, though, we seem to have hit a speed breaker. Today's start is expected to be flat to slightly negative on the back of lackluster global markets. The way the Indian market turned negative on Monday will only add to the anxiety. FIs were net sellers and so were the domestic funds. Stick to a stock-centric approach and stay on guard to meet any eventuality. Avoid needless adventures. The Nifty failed to sustain beyond 50 DMA of 6,066 on Monday, and it is likely to consolidate in the coming days with near-term support likely in the zone of 5,900 to 5,950. The upside appears capped with resistance likely at 6,050 to 6,100 in the near term. The overall trading range on the Nifty is expected to be 5,800 to 6,200. October IIP is to be declared on the 10th of December, monthly inflation on the 14th of December, and the mid-quarter RBI review on the 16th of December. These are the big events to watch out for in the next few days. Globally, Eurozone debt woes, a possible tightening in China, and state of the US economy will keep investors preoccupied. Meanwhile, the benchmark 10-year bond yield hits a 26-month high on Monday amid persistent deficit in the banking system. Crude oil is hovering near $90 per barrel. Gold hits new all-time high amid a sluggish US economy and concerns over the Eurozone's sovereign debt situation. Silver touched a 30-year high above $30 an ounce as the prospects of further US stimulus measures boosted demand for precious metals. European Union finance ministers met in Brussels but failed to arrive at any consensus on how to stem the spiraling debt problems. Moody's has cut Hungary's credit rating by 2 notches to just above junk. Ireland will present its budget today. Spending and tax cuts to the tune of €6 billion are expected. Eurozone debt woes will continue to unsettle investors. Central banks in the UK, Australia, Canada and South Korea are scheduled to take up their policy reviews this week. China is scheduled to come out with its latest trade data later this week. FIs were net sellers of Rs 2 billion in the cash segment on Monday, while the domestic institutional institutions were net sellers of Rs 3.1 billion according to the NSE website. FIs were net sellers at Rs 7.88 billion in the F&O segment. Mobile phone companies have rejected TRAI proposal to make cell phone tariffs more transparent. They've asked the regulator not to intervene on tariffs, saying they should be left to market forces, and have also opposed the proposal to have at least one standard tariff plan across all operators. Aviation regulators DGCA has directed all Indian carriers to show route-wise and date-wise airfares on their websites and ensure transparency so that flyers do not feel cheated by high ticket prices. Introduction of a goods and service tax could be delayed further with the centres and the states failing to reach common ground at the meeting of the Empowered Committee of State Finance Ministers. France signed deals with India worth Euros 13.3 billion in the nuclear power, civil aviation and defence sectors. The government has agreed in principle to ensure a minimum 10% return on investment to ONGC in Cairn India's Rajasthan blocks, boosting the firm's valuation ahead of its follow-on public offering. JSW Steel has received shareholders' nod to issue approximately 1 million shares on a preferential basis to Japan steelmaker JFE Steel. ONGC Videsh Limited will sign a formal agreement for taking a 25% stake in Kazakhstan's Satpayev oil fields by the end of February 2011. Religare Enterprises is close to buying 85% of the Ajay Piramal Group promoted real estate fund IndiaREIT Fund Advisors, valuing the entire fund at around 2.5 billion rupees. SBI has raised its deposit rates by up to 150 basis points across various maturities, a move that will provide better returns to people with fixed deposits in the bank. Mahindra & Mahindra Financial Services plans to raise up to Rs 5.7 billion through institutional placement by mid-January. Bharat Forge plans to invest Rs 19 billion through a joint venture with NTPC. Toyota Motors Corporation is looking at developing a small car to be positioned below its hatchback lever to drive up volumes in emerging economies. Moving on to the recommendations, the technical calls are a buy on Hindalco Limited. We advise buying the stock above levels of Rs 221 with a stop loss to be maintained at Rs 216 for a target price of Rs 231.5. A sell on Unitech December future below rupees 62.80 for a target price of rupees 58.5 and a stop loss is to be placed at rupees 64.8. The derivative strategies are long BHEL December future in the range of rupees 2,335 to rupees 2,340 for a target price of rupees 2,390 and a stop loss is to be placed at rupees 2,308. And short Indian Overseas Bank December future in the range of rupees 148 to rupees 150 for a target price of rupees 140 and a stop loss is to be placed at rupees 152. Thank you and have a great day ahead.